In today's video, I am making crock-pot lasagna. This comes together so fast. This is so much easier than the way we've done it for years in the oven. So I hope you come along with me while I show you how I put this together. I start out by browning a pound of ground beef. I'm going to cut up in dice 1 small onion. The recipe I'm using does not call for green pepper, but I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit in. I'm probably just going to use half of this package and I'm going to put the rest in the freezer. I'm going to give that a good chop and get that in the bowl with the onions and get ready to add that to the hamburger. I'll just add a little water in and now I'll add the onions and green pepper. And I will cook this until it's tender. The recipe I'm following does not have mushrooms included. I'm going to use a half a can. And I'm going to dice them up just a little bit. And now I'll add them in. I'm going to add in some garlic powder. The recipe calls for 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. I have always made my own homemade pasta sauce, and what a great time saver this is. I am going to go ahead and dump this into the pan. I have 2 jars. I'm not sure if I want to use both jars, so I'm just going to see how this looks. The recipe calls for a 24-ounce jar of spaghetti sauce. A 32-ounce jar can be used if you like it really saucy. I have changed this recipe quite a bit because I do love tomatoes in my spaghetti sauce, so I'm going to add some tomatoes in. That is the fun thing about being a cook. You know what you like, so just add the things that you like. I decided to add the second one in, and what I want to do, since I have all this other stuff in here, the mushrooms, the green pepper, I will freeze anything that I don't use for this recipe, and then I can just pull it out. The sauce will be ready to go for my next meal. I really like a thick sauce just like that. I think I've shown this in other videos, but I just wanted to quickly show you the cheese that I get at Gordon Foods. I love buying it like this. This is the mozzarella. It's $20 and change, but I will cut that up, put it in little baggies, and it'll be in my freezer. I do the same thing with the sharp cheddar. I'm going to cut that up as well. I gave the sauce a taste, and I felt like it needed just a little bit of sugar. I have a lot of different sized crock pots, and I thought this one would work out really well. It's flat, it's not very tall. I thought it would be perfect for lasagna for 2. I did some research on lasagna in a crock pot, and a couple of people have said it had burned on them before. So I'm going to put it on low when I cook it, but I am going to add quite a bit of oil to this, and later on I'm going to be spraying it. I want to make sure that nothing sticks and hopefully nothing burns. Someone had mentioned that they oiled it and then they put water down on the bottom and that kept it from burning. So that's exactly what I did. Whenever I find something that really works well in my kitchen, I definitely want to share that. And this is one of those. This OXO product, I love it. I don't ever run out of lasagna noodles now because I can see what I have. Before in the past, I always had them in a box. This recipe calls for 1.5 cups of mozzarella. I had just pulled this out of the freezer, but it breaks up pretty quick. It's probably sat on the counter for 10 minutes. I went to our grocery store. I went to Meijer, and Meijer is carrying these great big tubs, 3 pounds of cottage cheese. We love cottage cheese here, and this recipe calls for 15 ounces of cottage cheese. And it calls for 2 tablespoons of Parmesan cheese. It calls for 1 egg. The recipe calls for parsley and they recommend 2 tablespoons. I think I'm going to put in about that much. Then you just want to mix everything up. And now it's time to start building it. I'm going to put some sauce on the bottom to start with. Adding the noodles can be a little tricky. You could put them in strips the best you could. I think what I'm going to do is just break it up. I really like the idea of when I go to cut it, it'll be easier to grab a piece out. So I'm just going to go ahead and break it up. I'm going to try to just do one layer across and not overlap too much because I want them to be sure to get done. Next layer will be the cheese mixture, and I'll spread that all over the top. And now I will do another layer of the sauce, and it's just going to be back and forth. I'm going to go ahead and cook this on low for 3 to 5 hours, checking it every so often. Here I just want to show those tubs. I buy these at Gordon Foods and they come with a lid. I just love them. I use them often. I'm going to put this in the freezer once I get it full, and when it's frozen, I'm going to pop it out of that plastic tub and put it in a freezer bag. It has been 2 hours and I just want to see how the noodles are coming along. So I'm just going to take a knife and I'm going to insert it and see if it goes through smoothly. It is almost done. Those are looking really tender. I'm going to sprinkle it with a little pepper on top and put the lid back on, and then I will be back in about a half hour. It has been a half hour and look at this. This is so delicious and a game changer when it comes to making lasagna. It can be easy. You can put it all in there and just turn it on and leave it. And look at that. It comes together so good. This is perfect for 2 people. I love it when I can find a dish like that. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you'll consider subscribing and hit the like button. And I want to thank you so much for watching today.